How's it going, guys, and welcome to Game Involved. I'm Shifty Cow, and in today's video we're going to be talking about some more future Battlefield ideas and responses, and especially some feedback that we got from you guys. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe for more awesome gaming content. So a couple of days ago we did a video on kind of Battlefield 5 or future Battlefield, just thoughts and ideas, just some changes that we thought needed to be made from Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline that we'd like to see in a future Battlefield title. And one of the comments from Orphan Last Gaming was insane. Like, he poured his heart into this comment, and I read through it. I'll leave a link to his channel down below if you want to check him out. He says he doesn't take his YouTube too seriously, but be sure to check him out anyways, because there were some really cool things that he talked about in this comment. So the first of which is he kind of split it up into a single player and a multiplayer, and as you guys can probably tell by now, I primarily buy games for the multiplayer. I do really enjoy single players. I like playing through the story, learning the characters, all that type of gameplay, especially when they have those really epic moments that you really can't recreate in a multiplayer. But I primarily buy a game that's just for the multiplayer because obviously I think I'm going to be able to put a lot more time into the multiplayer rather than just the campaign. So he had a lot of really cool ideas about the campaign, making things that were more strategic, so that way, say there was a bridge and you decide to blow it up with C4, the enemies couldn't send reinforcements through that bridge, but then if you needed to escape quickly, obviously you can't use the same bridge you just blew up because you destroyed it and you have to live with that consequence. And he also had a ton of different ideas about stealth mechanics being open world. He made a lot of different comparisons to different games, and I would highly recommend you go read this comment because he has a lot of ideas and it's incredibly in depth. So the one problem that I see with all of this is most people, like myself, tend to buy games for the multiplayer, and so I don't think DICE or EA or Visceral or whoever's developing the next Battlefield would really be all that happy about putting all this time into a Battlefield game. Now, sure, it would add a lot of time to the campaign. Like, that would easily make me be able to play through a couple different times if you had different storylines or you had different choices, strategic things like that. I really enjoy those. Like, they could have a lot of potential with doing some amazing things with the campaign. But the problem is, a lot of people just go straight to the multiplayer and they don't even bother touching the campaign. So that's really their main selling point, is this massive full-scale warfare on the multiplayer, because people really want to play competitively, they want to play with their friends, they want to play against their friends, and you really can't do that in a single player unless it's something like co-op. So while it would be absolutely incredible if they were to create this kind of open world, strategic, you get to choose what you do and you really have to think about what your choices are when you're trying to kill the enemy or get your objective done, I just can't see DICE or EA putting in this much time and all these resources into the single player when their main selling point is their multiplayer. So moving on to the multiplayer, one of the biggest things that I really enjoyed that he talked about is the destruction, and he said that most people who play Battlefield want the map to be 100% destructible, and at first I really didn't agree with this. I thought, okay, there's no way you can have a decent map that has some good pathing, good cover, and is overall just fun to play with if everything is destructible. Sure, there are a couple exceptions here and there, but for the most part, it's really hard to make 10 good maps, or even 8, or however many maps they decide to do in a future title, that are good and still fully destructible, but still have that smooth gameplay. So he actually further went on to discuss this, and he said the one thing that would fix this is if they had variable destruction. So say there was one wall and it really didn't matter, it would take down a building, whatever. Obviously it could be taken down with one RPG or one C4, just whatever you have on you, you can blow through it. But if there's another wall and it is vital to defending a base and it really will just kind of throw off the flow, maybe it takes upwards of 3 or 4 explosives. That way you can blow it up, but is it really worth all that explosives? Do you have an ammo box? Is it worth busting through that wall and having it destroyed while you're trying to defend it or attack it again? So it really just brings in another layer of strategic gameplay, really thinking about what to blow up and whether it's worth the resources you have or whether it's worth to just leave it alone, let someone else try and take it out and not worry about it. So I really like this concept. And he actually went even further with this and said the only way this system would work, and I totally agree with this, is if they made it visually identifiable that it took a certain amount of explosives. So, for example, if there was a sheet of plywood, obviously you know you can shoot through that. If there's a piece of concrete and you can see it and you know, okay, this isn't reinforced, I can blow through it with 1 stick of C4 or 2 sticks of C4, you really need to know immediately after looking at it precisely how much explosives it's going to take to destroy it. So if they were able to implement this kind of destruction into the next Battlefield game, I would be incredibly excited because I'm still waiting for the day where I can be on top of a giant skyscraper or a mountain or something like that, jump off, be parachuting down, and then at any random building that's facing an objective, I can pull out an RPG, shoot through the wall, and go flying through that hole. Like that's my ideal just dream goal for the future of Battlefield, but I realize this probably will not happen and it'll probably take a lot of time. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you want to read a bit further into his comment because it's just incredibly in-depth, you can click on the screen right now, and we'll also link his channel in the description below. But if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe for more awesome gaming content. If you have any ideas or weapon challenges, be sure to leave those in the comments. Check out our Twitter, and until next time, guys, stay buttery.